All right, live in this thing once again. Joshua here, Boz there, DC, Norway. Yeah, despite
Hmm.
the distance, we all saw what happened last night. We all witnessed that. I guess you can call it greatness, but Dmitry Bivol versus Canelo Alvarez. So there's going to be a lot to discuss in regards to that. A lot of chatter has already gone
Yeah.
down on the social media platforms. Anyway, how's it going there today, Boz?
Yeah, it's still sunny here, and yeah, but
Well, I guess that's pretty good. All you can
yeah,
ask
but
for is a little
soon
bit of sunniness, huh?
we'll be getting some rain, but yeah, it's all right because we haven't had it for a really long time.
Oh yeah, 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 without a
Yeah.
doubt. We hadn't. So but yeah, that's good stuff. So yeah, I mean, I know that everybody knows what the big event was last night. Without a doubt, it was none other than Canelo Alvarez taking on Dmitry Bivol for the WBA 175-pound title. And of course, Dmitry Bivol had this title. He's had it for a long period of time. I think
Yeah,
we were discussing yesterday about 9 years, which is pretty
this is
remarkable.
no, this is his ninth. This was his ninth
Oh
defense.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Ninth defense.
I
Yeah, good
think he
catch there.
won.
Ninth defense, which is yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
I think he's
remarkable.
been holding it for 4 years, I believe, something.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, definitely not 9 years. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
that
know if
would
he's even
be.
been boxing as a pro for 9 years.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that would be maybe a record or something. Yeah.
yeah, without a doubt, without a doubt. But yeah, it was a great action. Facebook user Vivo was the Grim Reaper last night.
Mm.
Without a doubt, he was. Without a doubt. You know, we had discussed some things before the fight. Shout out to Greg Sandwich. Mad, motivated, ambitions, driven, Semper Fi. But yeah, we had discussed some stuff last night or yesterday, rather, on how this fight could go different ways, but that Bivol was without a doubt a live dog in this fight, and
Yeah.
he though he may not be known by the masses as much, he is without a doubt and has been one of the better fighters in boxing over the course of the last several years. He just hasn't had that spotlight to the same degree as the likes of a Canelo. And what
Mm.
you saw last night was a boxer who wasn't afraid, who was ready, who knew what the mission was, and who is one of the best in the world. He's gonna have to get consideration in that pound for pound ranking now, because it would have been in favor of Canelo had he pulled off the victory. So that same favor is gonna have to be shown towards Bivol. But what you saw was a boxer who boxed his fight last night, and Canelo really didn't have any answer for it. What were your overall thoughts?
Yeah, it was just as I hoped. He fought the perfect fight, really. And first couple rounds, he didn't do so much, and that was good. And then after that, he was really. I mean, he did everything when he was not attacking too much, but not being too cautious either. He wasn't really,
Yeah.
like so many others before him that fought Canelo in the recent years. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he was especially I mean, the last 4 or 5 rounds, he was really, really dominant, and yeah, he
Cool.
was
Cool.
just really landing a lot. And as he said after the fight, that Canelo he beat up his hands, not his head. That's what he
Yeah,
said.
yeah.
So
Basically, arm punches was what he was
yeah,
landing.
so he did really block a lot of Canelo's punches.
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
I 100% agree. Shout out to Rodolfo Rivera. Again, shout out Mr.
Hello,
Mad himself, Greg Sanders.
William.
Shout out Rodolfo. But yeah, you are 100% correct. It was an arm punching night for Canelo, so the size did factor in for Bivol, and he knows
Yeah.
how to box and use his size well. And he, unlike a number of Canelo's opponents in the past, something that Caleb Smith didn't do, something that Caleb Plant wasn't able to do the entirety of the fight, as well as Billy Joe Saunders. Bivol,
Mm.
he stayed behind this jab the entire time.
Yeah.
And with that, he kept Canelo at a distance. And Canelo struggled to get inside to land punches. And when he did, Bivol used his guard to block them, and the majority of them landed on the arms. And I think that of course we know that the scorecard came out 115, 113, which I
Yeah,
thought was blasphemous. They were being
yeah,
very generous right there because I think you're hard pressed to give Canelo any more than 3 rounds, if that.
yeah,
You know, I had him winning 2 rounds, and I thought that those were even close rounds that I had him winning. So those that
yeah,
115, 113, or those 115, 113 scorecards, they're just, in my opinion, bad cards as well, and we see that all too
yeah.
much in boxing.
Most comments that I saw also had Canelo winning 3 rounds tops, and I agree. I didn't think he deserved anywhere near 5 rounds, and but at least yeah, right man got the decision. We couldn't expect much better from these judges, the Vegas
Yeah.
judges.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Thankfully, he didn't get fully screwed over because we've seen that happen in the past. So,
exactly,
uh,
that could have happened, or maybe a draw, could have happened
yeah,
just as
that would have
well.
been freaking insane.
Yeah, that would have
And
been.
as I mentioned before well, at least I was mentioning in comments I was making last night, I commend Canelo for daring to be great, rising up those ranks. And this is just a case of why there are weight classes and
Hmm.
how in some cases you have great smaller fighters who can beat good bigger fighters. But when you run up against the right fighter as a smaller fighter, and dare I say that fighter is also great, then that makes it even tougher when you
Yeah,
factor in the size piece of it. So Canelo, he challenged himself, so he deserves props for that. At least at this particular juncture of where we are in boxing, he's one of the few who challenged themselves to this degree, willing to go up
yeah,
and down multiple weight classes. This is considered sort of a thing of the past in terms of how they did it back in the day. So I give him his props for being able to do that.
yeah. As they say always, like when a good big man fights a good small man, usually the good big man wins, and that's what happens. Happened last night. So yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, Bivol just simply, yeah, he was able to really kind of take it to Canelo, take the fight, and land his punches. Really, and that was really nice to watch the way he throws his punches, his combinations, and all that.
yeah,
It was really wonderful just finally to see somebody really hitting Canelo like
yeah.
constantly, or repeatedly, and not just a few times and that's it, like we saw again with the Plant or Saunders.
Yeah, they were a
So,
bit too concerned with the defensive side of things and the output that was coming from Canelo that they really kind of hindered their own offense in some sense.
yeah, yeah, well,
That tends to happen, though. That tends to happen, and I
yeah,
guess those are at 168. But I think we are both in agreement that at the time it happened, Caleb Smith, that was
yeah,
probably the worst Caleb Smith we had
yeah.
seen.
He
Period. And
was.
I think it would be different a different time around, or another time around.
Yeah, his last fight at 168, he was obviously struggling to make that weight. He had outgrown that division, obviously. I mean, when you see the size of him, the muscle, he's pretty, muscular too, and 6'3" guy, fighting
Yeah.
168. No way, man. No
Yeah,
way.
without a doubt, without a doubt. Greg, he obliged when Canelo was baiting him in. Canelo probably would have gotten him out of there. I agree. I agree. So, yeah, Bivol maintained his composure throughout, and he kept
Yeah,
control of the fight.
yeah,
There
it
was
was
not really any point in the fight where Canelo was in control. It was more. It was the fight was dictated by Bivol. Canelo had moments, of course. He did have some moments, but the fight in itself, holistically, was dictated by Bivol. And there was even points in which
mm,
he was pressing Canelo backwards, and Canelo was covering up. And I think that the posturing he was doing while standing on the ropes was more so a tactic to try and throw Bivol off his game because he didn't really have an answer for
Mm.
anything when he was standing back there against the ropes, getting tapped up with those combinations.
Yeah, and that's a good point because you saw Canelo do like, come on, that's kind of
Yeah,
gesture, and
yeah,
Baby Wall was just, yeah, it was like, no, 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 thanks,
yeah.
not
Didn't
gonna
phase him
make
at all.
that mistake like some others have done before me.
Without a doubt, that was a great fight planned by Bivol. Rodolfo
Yeah,
Rivera Jr. 175 didn't look good on him at all. Yeah, it
no,
didn't look good this time around for Canelo. He's been bouncing up and down, but now this makes those Usyk talks, however serious they were, makes them even less serious
yeah,
now.
I don't think that's gonna happen. He's probably gonna return to 168 now, and he
Yeah,
said he wants a rematch, but everybody says that when they lose after a really long time, like he did.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It
I
has been a
don't think
while.
I don't think he will really have take a rematch. So
Yeah. Yeah, and and I think that Bivol will come in even better if they were to rematch. I don't doubt that Canelo would
yeah,
come in a bit better, but I know that that would be the same with Bivol. So I don't see the verdict changing because at the
yeah,
end of the day,
hmm.
the tool set that Bivol has is like the perfect counter to Canelo's size and style. So I think
Yeah.
that's really what the fundamental issue comes down to.
Yeah, I think too many people overlooked Bivol. Like everybody was saying, oh, better Biev is the only one that can really beat Canelo at
Hmm.
175. But, now they think differently, of course.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Bivol, is a better boxer than Bivol. There might not be much between the two in terms of overall skills because both were
Yeah.
great amateurs. But
But yeah,
Bivol
Bivol
is,
is, yeah.
it could be argued that he's the better boxer. And I think one of the things that proved to be true and real is Canelo's power. Can we say that Canelo's power at 168 is greater than that of Joe Smith Jr., who Bivol has been in
Hmm.
with and taking his punches? So I feel like yeah, Canelo isn't the most powerful puncher at 168. I heard some them alluding to that on the DAZN, like one on the pre-show when I was watching undercards or whatever, that he was the
Yeah.
hardest puncher. I'd imagine he's a hard puncher, but there's no way I'm believing he's a harder puncher than Joe Smith Jr. and some of the
No
other guys
way.
at 175. Baturbiev, Elier Alvarez, he's a decent puncher. I mean, there are a lot of big guys at 175, and I don't. Yeah, to say that Canelo is the hardest puncher, yeah, I doubt that's the
Yeah.
case.
I know, and he's not really as much of a one puncher as Smith Jr. is, I believe. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, he's more like hit you with a big combination, and that's, yeah, what he
Yeah,
usually does to get the knockout. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, I agree with you there. So, Greg, the tactics of hitting the arms worked with Caleb Smith and work against a much bigger and conditioned Bivol. Without a doubt, they really stopped a great deal of Canelo's offense. Yeah, that did. You're right. Yeah, that arm punching. You could see after the fight that there was some bruising on Bivol's arm. But yeah, I do think, as you said, yeah, that didn't work for Bivol. He was prepared for that, and
mm,
those were probably some of the better punches that Canelo landed, but they were arm punches. He did slip a few things in here and there, but yeah, overall, yeah, he this was just the better man won on this night. The better man, better at the better weight at this particular point in time.
yeah,
So hey, got to give him his props for that.
yeah. I mean, Bivol would easily beat anybody. I mean, at his best night today, at 175. Anyway, I think even better be probably. If unless he should, of course, he would get tagged. I mean, hit,
Hmm.
flush, but
Yeah.
yeah, that would be hard for better view, I believe, to be all.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That would be a tough one for him.
Mm,
Greg, as you mentioned, Canelo can't really hit going backwards. either, which really worked for Bivol. It's pressure the majority of the time. I agree. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's those are the moments that I think people probably didn't see or didn't expect. Bivol pressing on the offensive, and what was Canelo going to do when that was the case? Because despite looking at Bivol's record and his lack of knockouts, or just overall by comparison to this latter part of his career, he has been a guy who has shown that he has the ability to put together combination punches, and that's what's pretty much carried him to a lot of the victories that he's had, not taking a lot of damage and dishing out a lot of combinations and outputs. I don't know that he's ever been out punched. If you look at and I haven't looked into the
yeah,
company about stats or anything, but I doubt that he's been outlanded for sure. But maybe out punched. I don't know. We'd have to see, but I doubt it because he's a tricky guy to try and test, and he's not and at
yeah.
6 feet tall. Yeah, he has size too, and so that
Mm.
jab and that reach is long, and he knows how to use it well. So yeah, that was a struggle for Canelo when he was backed up. He couldn't really land much.
Yeah, I don't know if Bivol has he really been down yet. Bivol, I'm not sure.
No, he's only been the only time I've actually ever seen him hurt was when Joe Smith Jr. caught him
Oh
like in the
yeah,
10th round of their fight. But he was basically outboxing. He outboxed Joe Smith Jr. for you could argue 10 rounds straight because that was the only
mm,
thing that Smith landed in that round. But that was what really hurt him. And Bivol didn't go down, but he was definitely hurt. The most
right.
hurt he was ever in, he ever
Yeah,
was in any fight. So that made me think like if that didn't take him down, then yeah, I don't know if
yeah,
Canelo has one of those overhand rights like Joe Smith Jr. when he's slinging those things from out of nowhere.
yeah. That's what I told you. Remember yesterday about those guys who come from that part of the world. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Central Asia. They are really, really tough guys. Really tough fighters. And also Kostya too was one of them. Also, I believe. Yeah, his father
Oh
was
yeah,
from
Costa too. Yeah,
Mongolia.
tough guy.
Yeah, very tough guy.
And those
Oh,
guys have tough upbringing, just in like tough conditions and things, So yeah,
yeah, that's like yeah,
that definitely has to be factored in. I think it's no yeah, and if you look at the landscape, for those who may not follow the sport as closely, if you go look at the landscape of let's say the title picture and everything, especially when you look in those say middleweight is the middle, you just look around there, you're gonna see a ton of those guys from Western Asia,
yeah,
Eastern Europe, that area, the
really,
Russian area, Uzbekistan,
yeah,
Kazakhstan. You're going to see a ton of those guys, and you're going to
yeah,
see
yeah.
them with a low amount of fights, but they are ready for championship contention right now.
Those are warrior people. I mean, always. I mean, they really like also practicing martial arts, and
Yeah.
yeah, that
The
was
similar script in the MMA world as well, where a lot of those guys, yeah, they just train tough. They're
mm.
in
They
tough
got
elevated areas.
they got the discipline also. That's very
Yes.
important. They really love doing that, but they are very dedicated to training and all that.
Oh
All that.
yeah, you're
So
100% correct. 100% correct. Because yeah, and their lifestyle is different than that of someone here in America per se,
yeah,
or just
definitely.
any of the Americas, even South America
Yeah, or
in general, North and South America. Their lifestyle is different. A lot of theirs
yeah,
is built around
it
religion
is.
and things of that nature. So they're not out there
Yeah,
at the clubs and all that stuff.
it's more Spartan, definitely than in America, where it's not always easy over there to get enough concentration and focus and
Yeah.
peace. So yeah,
Yeah. There are a lot of options out there in some other places,
yeah.
without a doubt.
Mm.
Um, Rodolfo Rivera. Hopefully, Bivol uses this fight as momentum to go undisputed at 175. Hey, that would be a major thing right there. That would mean that we get Bivol versus the winner of Joe Smith Jr. Bless you, goes in
Thanks.
as they say. But that would mean we get the winner of our Bivol versus the winner of Joe Smith Jr.
Yeah.
Arthur Beterbiev, and then is that where I need to check? Is that where all the belts lie? I don't think anyone else has a belt at 175, but I could be wrong. Let me see.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, because I know that. Yeah, I'm trying to think because I know that Beterbiev had. I know he took what Alexander Gvozdyk had.
He's got the IBF and the WBO, I believe. I
Okay,
think Wozniak had the WBO, right? I think,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So he got that from him, and I know he had the. Yeah, he probably already had the IBS. So
Yeah,
also,
IBF.
according to Ring, he has it. Oh, so Smith has the WBO, which he would have won against. I'm wondering who if he won that against Vlasov or something. I wonder if it was on the line
Oh, yeah, right.
when they fought. So
I
yeah,
know.
this would be for all the marbles essentially because the ring
Yeah,
title is vacant. So I'd imagine that the winner of them and then ultimately a fight between the winner and Bivol would be for the ring lineal heavy light heavyweight and then the lineal light heavyweight championship. It'll be
yeah.
undisputed, and that would be big. That would be a big
That
thing at
would be
175 for sure.
huge, huge. Yeah, that would be really good because it would be a classic boxer versus puncher,
Yes,
fight.
yeah, excellent style clash.
Yeah,
And of course, I always try to think of when the last time we had an undisputed champion was at a particular weight. At light heavyweight, would it have been?
like the Spinks, me.
I was gonna say, yeah, back in that time
Yeah,
frame,
because
because
even Roy
Moore
Jones didn't have all that. I think he didn't have the WBO belt
who was
because
that?
Roy Jones Jr.
Okay, yeah, yeah, Roy Jones. Yeah, yeah, he
uh,
wasn't. He never did become undisputed, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he was undisputed in the old fashioned sense, but not in the today's sense.
Okay, so he didn't have four belts at once, right?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
he had the WBC, WBA, IBF, I think, but not WBO because that was held by Mikhail Chevsky.
Oh yeah, that's the fight that
They
never happened.
yeah, they never, Michalczewski didn't want to come to United States, and Roy Jones wouldn't come to
They should have met
Germany.
in Greenland or something. That seemed like
Yeah,
a good little middle point.
Iceland or I don't know.
Yeah, Iceland, Reykjavik.
Yeah, why not?
That would have been like the biggest event there in forever.
Fight like at midnight sun when the midnight sun is up. Yeah,
Yeah, that is funny. The crazy thing is Roy. He traveled a lot late in his career. Well, while he was
yeah,
past his prime, of course. But
but yeah, honestly, I think most likely Roy would have won because I think the
yeah,
only chance this guy, Chelsky could win was by a knockout, definitely. But because he did have power, of course, he did have enough power to knock
yeah,
him out. But he was a lot slower, not as athletic as Jones, and he wasn't that hard to hit, frankly, but he had a good chin, so he
yeah.
got away with that. So yeah,
Yeah, and Roy was at his athletic peak at that time, so it would
yeah,
have been tough for anyone. Just look at it,
yeah.
look at history. Yeah, it would have been tough for anyone at that particular time. He was so
Mm.
athletically gifted. It was crazy.
Yeah, that was really like there was like this was him, and then there was the rest. Like,
Yeah, yeah, that is true. Yeah, he was doing some stuff you weren't typically seeing behind the back punching and all that stuff.
hmm,
It was crazy.
yeah,
Um, If Rodolfo, if Canelo wants a rematch, he would need to have some Rocky Four type training in order to compete. Yeah, he would have to come in focused. I would say
move to
Canelo was a bit
Russia.
relaxed. I'm sure he was dedicated to it, and yeah, I'm sure he went into there with a game plan towards how he would approach getting in on the inside of Bivol, but yeah, it just proved to be a bit too tough for him once he was actually in the mix for sure. So he's
I
gonna
can
have to
hear
be dialed
that. I can hear that song from Rocky Four. It's a burning heart, like
in.
Canelo running in the snow, like up in the mountains in
Oh yeah,
Siberia.
Canelo coming back with vengeance. Canelo's
Yeah,
gonna take this fight in Russia. He's like, I want to go to Russia to have this fight.
yeah. I don't think he will do that, but anyway, maybe
Yeah,
in Kyrgyzstan, where Bivol is actually, or his mother, he's born there, but his mother is from.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah, not and of course, yeah, no major boxing events are gonna go down in Russia anytime soon.
Yeah, they
Anyway,
they had a few. I mean, before I remember there was one guy from Kyrgyzstan who called himself Kid Diamond. Maybe you remember him, lightweight. He was Ryan Kulov. His last name was. He fought that guy Casamayor, and he
oh yeah,
nearly won that fight.
I remember Casamayor.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I
Kid
had to look him
Diamond.
up. I don't remember him off top. Definitely, I don't remember
Yeah,
that fight actually.
he was later stopped by Nate Campbell. That was like in 10th
The
round.
Galaxy Warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Nate Campbell.
Yeah, he was pretty good. Like,
Yeah, yeah, very very solid boxer right there. Crafty guy for sure.
yeah, hmm,
Uh,
all
uh,
around boxer.
How about this fight in Russia?
In
Yeah,
Siberia, not just Russia.
let's do it. Siberia in the dead of winter.
Yeah,
I'm gonna prove a point right here. That would be interesting if
he
that
could make like a music video where he sings like himself in Spanish,
happened.
like Guerrero, like
Yeah, that
Guerrero.
would
How
be
do you say
interesting.
corazon? It's but
That'll be
Spanish.
interesting. So yeah, but yeah, so the path is clear for what Bivol can do next. So now it's a matter of what will Canelo really do next. So 168 seems to be his weight. He seemed to be doing pretty good there. And then while those guys were bigger by comparison to where he came from at the lower weights, they're not as big as the light heavyweights to a certain degree, at least, or at least some of the
Mm,
bigger 168 pounders have already moved up to light heavyweight to this point. Thinking about Zerto and the likes. And, so I guess that would make the fight
Ramirez,
that
yeah,
the people want to see or have been clamoring for is Canelo versus David Benavidez, and I know
oh
that
yeah,
seemingly would be hard or at least a tough fight for him from the sense of if Benavidez has the type of offensive output that we're accustomed to seeing, then that would make it
yeah,
seemingly some type of back and forth type of fight. But that also kind of plays into the size has to be factored in. I was going to say plays into Canelo's hand because he does like to counter at times as well. So it
yeah.
should be interesting. It makes for an interesting sort of style matchup for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. I was just thinking about, that how Canelo will now respond to this loss because, especially if he makes a mistake and tries to like go even higher up in weight or even stay at 175. I don't think that would be good for
Yeah,
him. He should just return to 168 and because that's a division. Well, you got more future really good fights to be made there. For instance, Demetrius Andrade is at
yeah,
168 now. Yeah, very attractive fight there.
without a doubt. Who I saw by virtue of a post that you made is now departing ways with Matchroom
Yeah,
Boxing after I
yeah.
don't know what maybe like
So
4 years or
that would be a little harder to make now than it's, but
something.
still, I
Without a
think.
doubt, without a doubt.
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
was
I think it will be made probably. I mean, unless Andrade should lose before that or something. I don't know. We'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah, I would like to see that fight. I like Demetrius Andrade, and Andrade. I think his last fight, or it was at least a fight that was scheduled. He was going to 168,
Yeah.
and that was clearly with intentions of trying to get this Canelo fight.
Mm.
that said, a lot of guys want to face Canelo right now. Kind of a
Yeah,
log jam. Bivol
yeah.
was chosen more so. So it'll be interesting to see what Canelo
Oh
does
yeah.
next in that regard.
I just remember. Did you see what Jake Paul posted on his Instagram? That was
No, I
right.
didn't. I didn't
He
see.
said like, "Oh, you see, Canelo lost, and in 3 years I will be, the one to knock him out. When he go to the ring."
Oh yeah,
That's
go for it, Jake. I say go
yeah,
for it. Why not right now?
because he thinks he will be a cruiserweight in 3 years. Canelo will be a cruiserweight because Jake is he's a
Yeah,
cruiserweight. So that's
yeah.
pretty
Yeah,
preposterous.
that'll be interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see Canelo competing at cruiserweight on a
Yeah,
consistent basis. He may. I
right.
will say that a lot of the top guys at cruiserweight right now, who knows if they'll still be fighting in 3 years, especially
Yeah.
at cruiserweight. I doubt that Breedis is still going to be
Oh yeah,
out
he's.
there like that. Dornicos may not be.
Hmm.
Then there's some other guys out there. So,
Maybe that guy was he's just returned Tabiti. Maybe he's
oh yeah, Andrew Tabiti.
yeah,
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. Yeah, I don't see him competing there, and I think right now is there's still that window of you have some top guys who are still top caliber guys who are still there at cruiserweight. But so let's say for instance, if we finally get Maris Breedis and
yeah.
Lawrence Okoli, then I think the winner of that
Oh,
is likely going to move on, maybe to
yeah,
heavyweight. But I don't know about Breedis, but if Okoli wins, which I think is a 50-50 fight for sure, I actually
yeah.
lean a little bit towards Breedis. It's
It
just
is
one of the things
now, but yeah,
we've
yeah. I
always
mean,
discussed, in terms of Breedis. He's,
Okoli
he's,
has a
he's
big
yeah,
yeah,
he's top tier, and it's just a matter of now, the inactivity because of the fact that uh, he doesn't have the World Boxing Super Series, so those fights aren't sort of guaranteed and scheduled fights. Now it's a matter of can we get Breedis in the ring with Okoli or someone.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Okoli has a really big height advantage, especially on Breedis, and of course he's got the power, and so he's always very dangerous of
Mm-hmm.
opponent for anybody, because of that. But as we've seen, as we saw in his last fight, whenever he's unable to put away his man, like in the first half of the fight or
Oh yeah.
something, he doesn't really. He is not able to finish it later. In the late rounds, he just kind of folds. Yeah, but
Yeah, definitely. So that would make it interesting. I just
yeah,
want to see Breedis in there because he's already at that age where activity is probably going to be the best thing for
yeah,
him, and he's the top dog right now. So it'll be good to get him in there. He's
yeah,
already beaten all of the top cruiserweights. Okoli is one of them. Then there's some other ones coming up in the crowd. I see Makabu. He has the
oh
WBC
yeah,
belt.
he's still there. Wow,
Yeah, he's still there. WBC
pretty
belt. Remember, there
amazing.
was some talk of him and Canelo taking on each other.
But
But
I don't think he. That's good that that didn't happen for
yeah,
Macabo anyway. But because I don't think he's past his primes. Definitely, I think by
yeah.
now because he was in his prime like 8, 9 years ago. I remember that
Hmm.
was. And
Yeah, he's
yeah,
been around for a little bit for sure. He's definitely been
yeah,
around for a good little bit. So that does make it interesting. So yeah, I
mm,
don't think we're gonna see much cruiserweight wise, if anything, from Canelo. And after
no,
yesterday, then I think that shows that yeah, that's
that's
probably not a
just
wise decision.
yeah, just too far fetched. I mean, this guy was first fighting as a welterweight, and I
Yeah.
mean, he was some like Thomas Hearns type, like a tall guy, like. But no, he's not. So him fighting as a cruiserweight, just too far fetched.
Yeah, and despite him being a very compact and you could consider a dangerous puncher, he's not a one punch knockout type puncher. He's not a one punch get his
He
guy
never
out
was.
type of guy.
Yeah,
It's more
no.
so accumulation, really. And
Yeah,
those bigger guys are going to be able to take them better than some of these guys at these lower weights.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of annoyed when everybody would start talking. Oh, he hits so hard. He's so
Yeah.
come on, it's
Yeah,
he.
he hit hard at 154 pounds. You
Yeah,
know?
he hit pretty hard there. Yeah, but at 168, 175, I don't think he hits especially hard anyway.
No, he hits hard enough to stop a Rocky Fielding. You know?
Yeah, like guy who is like
Yeah.
sleep walking almost through
Yeah,
the
yeah,
fight.
yeah, yeah. Outside of that, yeah, it's an accumulation, and he has to, really be on his game. But yeah, as you
Feeling
say,
is
Rodolfo, pride is a
yeah,
dangerous thing.
feeling is dead meat.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So that is interesting stuff. Now, also on the card, of course. Oh yeah, one of the things I wanted to say, disclaimer. The Chinese heavyweight is Zhang Jilei. I call him uh
yeah,
Zili Zhang.
yeah. Jean Gillet, yeah, that's right.
I've been
Yeah,
calling him Zili Zhang. I know I
yeah,
would have gotten it
because
right when I made the video on him, but yeah,
yeah,
Zhang Jilei. So it's not a Z. You're pronouncing it. You're not
it's
pronouncing it with a Z. You're pronouncing it as
Jean,
though it's a J.
yeah, Jean Gillet, yeah, that's
Zhang
right.
Jilei. But did you see his knockout over I
No,
forgot the guy he was fighting, but this was
I
a late
didn't.
replacement, of course, outside of Hergovich. But he landed a straight left, I believe it was straight left or straight right.
All right,
Part of me thinks it
so
was a straight left, and
it's
sent this guy
pretty.
down and pretty much out right there in the first round, probably
Yeah,
a minute in or something of that nature. But so
no, I
he didn't.
didn't
So
see.
it didn't really tell us much outside of the fact that Jang Jalei has power for sure. He has power.
Yeah,
I think we've seen that. We know he can punch. So,
yeah,
but I think it shows that
definitely.
Hergovich fight would be pretty decent.
Yeah, that would be really a good one. I think good test for Ergovic. That was a great pity. It didn't happen. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, and that would have been a very good one because that was intended to be the co-main event, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah. Because if Ergovic can't beat that guy Jean, then he sure hell can't beat Yoka.
Yeah,
That's a good. That would be a really good test. Simply, if he looks good against Gillet, then he can really have a realistic chance to beat Yoka. But if not, then he should not try.
yeah. So
Probably.
my understanding is both are still interested in the fight. So maybe we see that here on one of the zone cards later down the road, or maybe its own headlining event. Now
Mm,
that this opportunity has kind of moved on, with them to
yeah.
co-main this one, which would have been a big boost for each. And of course, Gillet was still on there. He was the opening fight on the pay-per-view card. But of course,
Mm,
that co-main event slot would have been a even bigger boost to his name,
mm,
or him and Hergovich, because both are definitely interesting players there in the heavyweight division.
yeah. Yeah. Definitely, they are. I mean, it's still pretty. Now the division getting more stacked, and we have it than it was before. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I like. Yeah, I think. Yeah, definitely got a lot of a big crop of young guys who are
yeah.
coming up in right around that point where hey, they're going to be sort of the top players there in the division. That I
Mm,
think that yeah, that top 15, top 10, I would say top 10 through 25 range is going to have a lot of very solid heavyweights that could be matched up in varying ways, and that's going to be good for I think heavyweight boxing and the sport in itself as a whole. If we get some of those matches
yeah.
like a John Jalei versus Filip Hergovich. So I'm going to depend on them accepting the fights, of course. But if we get those matches, I think that spells good things for the heavyweight division.
Yeah, definitely. I hope that happens, of course. Yeah.
And I know we were talking about it yesterday, I believe. some of the other guys that are sitting out there at heavyweight, like Frank Sanchez.
Yeah.
I know he has to want something, a title shot or something. I don't know where he gets it at this particular point, but I know he wants something, and it's a matter of what can be made,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like so far he's a really big puncher to me because I
Yeah,
don't know.
so yeah, that would be his only sort of knock, that lack of
Yeah,
true heavyweight power against these bigger guys, because he's gonna at his size, he's gonna up at least at the top end, he's gonna be the smaller guy more times than not.
yeah, yeah. That too. He's not a really big heavyweight for today today's standards. Yeah, but still he's big enough anyway, tall enough.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, he has that skill set, of course, to
Yeah,
he has a skill set to give any of them trouble. So that factors in
yeah,
to a certain degree. I was looking back. Yeah, some of the other undercard fights were some pretty good fights. Pretty good fights. Montana Love, he got a victory over Gabriel Valenzuela, and that was a decent fight early. Uh, um, they both exchanged knockdowns, and then Montana Love outboxed
mm,
him for the remainder of the fight. It was just harder for Valenzuela to
mm,
catch up with Love, who has pretty quick reflexes, especially on the defensive end. So that turned out to be a good one, or a decent fight. Uh, Giasal versus Gomez. I don't know if you saw that.
yeah.
That was they had a little back and forth in that fight. I think
That's the
I
one.
know I know at least one knockdown went down. It may have been more than one,
Yeah, it
but they had
says three, I think here. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that's the guy I was telling you about yesterday. Giasso, yeah.
Yeah,
Chakram.
Shakram Yasov. Yeah, he was
Pretty
yeah, he was
solid.
pretty solid.
Yeah. Wonder Boy. His nickname is. Yeah,
Wonder
nice.
Boy.
Nice, nice.
Hey, I watched the earlier fights, and there's this Uzbek fighter. He's 27 and he's 9-0 now. Elner Abduramov. Elner
Yeah, their
Abduramov.
names can be very long, hard to
Yeah,
pronounce.
Abduramov. I think it's
Yeah.
Abduramov. But he fought this guy named Alex Correa. But
Mhm.
basically, this Uzbek fighter, he looks to be the goods. He's gonna be He's gonna be tough for what weight is he? Uh,
Wow.
super featherweight. So yeah, he's gonna be a problem for some of these top super featherweights out here. Of course, if he can get the
Yeah.
matchups with them. But yeah, he looks pretty good. I would say definitely check him out. And he handled this guy. This guy, Alex Correa, wasn't on, or Manuel Correa, as opposed to Alex Correa. Manuel Correa wasn't on his level. He's undefeated Puerto Rican fighter, but they were saying he
Mm.
used to have
Mm.
to pay for his own fights and all that stuff. So he's not a decorated amateur. He came in undefeated, but this
Yeah.
Elner Abduramov, he looks pretty darn good.
And there is also on the 21st, that guy who is, this is actually for the WBO interim middleweight title, Janibek Alim Kanuli is fighting against
Janabek. Yeah, his name
Danny,
seems familiar for sure.
Dignam. I don't know him, that guy, but anyway, Alim Kanuli looks like a really solid also contender. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, Janabek. Okay.
He stopped
Yeah.
Hassan Nadam in his
Oh
last fight,
yeah. He's legit.
and
Another one
also
of
he
the
stopped
Kazakh
Rob
guys.
Brandt. Actually, yeah, that's him.
Yeah, I've seen him. Yeah, he's legit. See, yeah, that's what we were talking about. Those guys from that area. So he's only 11-0, and you can
Yeah,
already tell that he's a problem for everyone. But yeah,
yeah,
he
definitely.
definitely handled Isam Nadal. I remember seeing that because that was on the undercard of a pretty decent fight. I remember. Let me see who was that under. Oh yeah, Crawford versus Porter. Yeah, that's what it was under.
Hmm, that's nice. Yeah, he's a real top
Janibek.
top middleweight, definitely.
Yeah, that's gonna be yeah, that's gonna be interesting. So I think that
Mm.
let me see, Danny Diggum. Have I seen him? Danny Diggum. Doesn't ring a bell. I'm looking at his record. No, I don't think I have. And hey, you never know. He's a British fighter. 14
All
0
right.
and 1,
Mm.
eight
Yeah,
knockouts. Haven't fought
big name.
anyone
Yeah, Conor.
that I can see of true note. But hey, you never know. But I think it's gonna be tough for him. I'll just say that.
Yeah, yes, for sure. I really favor this guy, Johnny Beck. Let's call him.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's crazy stuff. So, uh, I was seeing something yesterday. As a matter of fact, this was later yesterday. I saw in the news this interview with Stanionis. What is his name?
Oh,
Emmanuel
yeah.
Stanionis or something like that.
Eimantas. Yeah.
Emmanuel Stanionis. He's Stanionis. He's from Lithuania.
Yeah.
Yeah, and man, and he's tough. I got mad respect and props for him after seeing him take on Batayev.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that was a
Rajab.
they were battling on the inside, neither backing up, and Stanionis got the better of him in that match as well. But he had mentioned in this interview that I guess Eddie Hearn said that no one knows Stanionis, so that wouldn't be a fight that anyone would want to see between him and Conor Ben. And Stanionis said that he doesn't think that they would
Yeah. I mean,
allow for that to happen. That would be a tough one for Ben right there.
Hearn, he thinks too much about that, like who is a bigger name, who sells more. I don't think that he's right. You
Yeah.
know. And by the way, Jake Paul doesn't like him at all. He also he
Oh
did
yeah.
that in that clip yesterday. Oh no, that was today. He was like, saying F Eddie Hearn, that's he's an idiot and
Oh
stuff
yeah.
like that.
That is funny.
Yeah.
Hmm. That is funny. Had a nice interview. Oh, thanks, mother. Happy Mother's Day out there.
All right,
Oh yeah,
happy
I should mention
Wednesday.
that off top. Happy Mother's Day. This goes to everyone, all the mothers out there. It's that day
Yeah,
for sure. Though I got a late start to the day because of I guess I was up late last night due to this fight and
all right.
there
Yeah,
the aftermath. But
you do sound and look tired. Yeah, I must say.
yeah, I was looking for some coffee, but
No coffee.
yeah, I'm just gonna have to fight it out.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe buy again some Red Bulls or something.
oh yeah, I used to have those here and there, but it's been a long time, many many years. Yeah,
Yeah,
stop messing with those.
yeah, it's hard to sleep then afterwards. I know
Yeah, and a lot
very
of
well.
sugar and stuff packed into those little cans or whatever.
Yeah. When I would go to work, I was like, for a while, I was buying that stuff, energy drink. And then when I found out later that night, I couldn't go to sleep like all night. And I had been to work. I really needed it, but I couldn't
Yeah,
sleep. And then afterwards, after a while, I was like, could it be because of those energy drinks? Then I stopped drinking and then everything was fine again. I could fall asleep, normally.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It certainly. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, definitely. I think that it happens because it does have you, and sometimes they have you jittery. The little jittery
Yeah,
feeling.
and this was like a can, like I mean, this big. I don't know where.
Yeah, those like Monster energy drinks. I remember
Yeah,
I
like
had some of
yeah,
those. Those
monster
are big.
big.
Those are the UFC promotes those a lot. I don't know if all the fighters are actually drinking them like that. Doesn't seem like it would be good.
Yeah, like it gives you extra strength and energy. Right? Yeah,
Yeah,
just
that's too
drink
much.
one
I
of
stick with
these.
coffee now. I do coffee. I do my coffee straight black.
Yeah, that's good.
A blonde roast, straight black. The blonde
I
roast is
don't
supposed to be
like
the strongest.
I don't like black coffee. Simply, I just can't drink it. The taste is so strong for me.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah,
have to
yeah,
put
yeah.
milk in it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
people prefer a mixer without a doubt. They,
yeah.
yeah, we've seen that, or I've seen that. Yeah, sort of here in and around. Yeah,
Mm.
a lot of people prefer mixers, but yeah, I gotta do it straight up. You know, it works for me.
Espresso machine. I was watching this funny thing yesterday with Conan O'Brien. Where he was kind
Oh
of
yeah, Conan
busting.
O'Brien.
That guy who worked for him, Jordan Schlansky. He had his like espresso machine, and he would let everybody use it, and work. And then Conan came and just took that machine away because it turns out that he paid for that machine. He didn't
Uh,
know that.
that's funny. That's funny. Old
yeah,
Conan. Yeah, I used to watch
yeah,
Conan back in the day. I used to watch
yeah.
him.
It's a
Yeah,
shame
earlier.
he's retired now, right? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's
yeah, he is. But yeah, I used to watch him back when I was probably more yeah, when I was in like
20s
high school.
or high school. Yeah, I remember I watched him real so very long ago. When I was also in high school, he was already big. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He had some funny bits that I like.
yeah,
Oh yeah, another thing I wanted to mention. So I dropped a video. It's called "Who is Tiara Brown?" Everyone check that out. Tiara Brown. She's a 130-pound fighter out of the U.S. She's in Florida. She's fought out of DC as well. She used to be in
Tiara
the DC
or
area.
Tiara,
Yeah, Tiara Brown.
Tiara
T
with an
baby. Oh
A.
yeah, I'm rocking the Team T baby shirt right here. That's
Right here.
everyone. See that right there, Team T baby. I'm
Oh yeah, I
representing right
see.
here.
Tiara Michelle Brown. Is that her? Yeah,
Yes. That is Team T
super,
baby.
super
So I'm
featherweight.
rocking with it. So I'm trying to throw some shout outs. But I have a video. I made an animated video that is on the YouTube. Worth checking out. Gives a little bit
Nice.
of introduction into her and some of her fights thus far. But she's looking for the top 130 pounders out there. Alicia Gardner or whatever
Oh
wants
yeah.
her.
I
Uh,
like her, yeah.
I know Tiara wants it. Let's make it happen, right?
Yeah,
That
why not? Yeah, Alicia is very yeah, she hits hard for a woman boxer, definitely. And
Yeah, she's good. She was
yeah,
a
she's,
great amateur champion, multi-time champion. So she's
mm,
ready. She's out there ready and waiting. So yeah, I just want to throw that out there here on this Mother's Day. Let's get these challenges. Let's get some of these women fights going on. These are all a part of the sport that are helping to grow
yeah.
the thing. So it's big
It's a
time
good
stuff.
it's a good thing Anthony is not here from my group. You know how he feels about these women's
Oh yeah,
fights. Like,
Anthony Wayne Wright.
yeah, he's a
Interesting.
little,
Yeah,
little old
funny guy.
fashioned.
Funny guy, but no, there's some great fights out there. That Katie Taylor Amanda Serrano fight is fight of the
Yeah,
year candidate, right? Without a doubt, it's the leading one right now. I would say. I can't
yeah,
think of
he
one.
said he did admit that was a good fight. Also, Tony admitted it was. So there you go. It's a really good fight when he says so.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. So we'll see what is next for the two of them
Amanda.
as
Yeah,
well.
I wanted Amanda Serrano to win. To be perfectly honest,
Yeah, there
because
was a case that she did. There's certainly a case that could be made that she did.
yeah,
I thought it was a draw, but it was super close. So,
she really did bust up Katie pretty badly in those rounds, fifth round especially, I believe. Yeah.
yeah, by that notion of who would you rather have been in the fight? Yeah, I'd rather have been Amanda.
Yeah, yeah, and like Katie had to fight for her life to not lose and not get stopped.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
What a
that
good
fifth round.
place.
Yeah, I don't know how she was able to withstand it. I think if Amanda would have gotten the knockdown those times that she had her hurt and practically
Yeah,
out on her feet, then that would
you
have been a
know,
difference. But
the
she
pro-
couldn't score the knockdown. But she had her
yeah,
practically dazed and confused.
yeah. The problem is Katie is a natural lightweight. She's a
Oh
more
yeah, yeah,
she's and you can see it in their respective bodies the way they are built. She's
yeah.
bigger than Amanda, definitely. So that's why she was able. If she had been like if this was at featherweight, or if Amanda had been a
Yeah.
natural lightweight, I think she would have stopped her probably.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Because she was jumping up from 126. At least
Yeah,
I think her last fight was at 126, right?
yeah, yeah,
Prior to
maybe.
this. So
Yeah,
yeah, that did factor in.
but I have some. I really not so fun. I mean, it's not like I hate on Katie Taylor, but I feel she like being a little protected by Eddie Hearn, and
Yeah,
because
I thought
she's
she lost that first fight with Delphine Pursoon, and I feel
yeah,
bad for Pursoon because I feel like she was just like robbed of her titles in
yeah, that's true. And I remember everybody felt so. I think in my group, or yeah, that's right, in my group, and at
yeah,
another forum where I go, everybody's like, "Oh no, that was BS." Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
yeah. I agree. I think KD definitely won the rematch
Yeah,
in more dominant fashion for sure. But I
and
thought she lost that first one, so she's had some
yeah,
close calls.
and she does, deserve respect for giving her a rematch. So you cannot say she just ducks
Yeah,
fighters that she should have lost against. So anyway, but I just cannot be really on her side. Like in when she fights someone like who is rather charismatic, very capable fighter like Amanda Serrano. So,
yeah, yeah. You're right. So it'll be interesting to see if there's an actual rematch if that happens or anything.
yeah,
Um, Of course, yeah,
maybe.
I'd imagine both are going to come back on their game, in preparation for this. But yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Serrano they're really impressed in that fight. It's just that she didn't close the show, so
Yeah,
that's why
yeah,
she didn't win. She yeah
yeah.
didn't
Yeah,
keep
there were
up.
some of those middle rounds that I thought that she didn't press as hard, and those were some that probably could have been given to Taylor, not by virtue
Yeah,
of Taylor doing anything dominant, but by Amanda not really pressing and throwing. But I
yeah.
imagine
That's
she had through a lot there in the fifth when she was trying to get her out or whatever, and she practically
yeah.
had her out. So
And maybe she was afraid of gassing, so she maybe
yeah.
paced herself. I think she did. It did look like that in the like 7, 8 round that she was kind of pacing herself. Yeah,
Yeah, much like Canelo, it's tough to beat Katie Taylor on the cards, right?
yeah, that's right. I mean, what you are with Eddie Hearn, who is now like the new golden boy or something, almost. Yeah,
Yeah.
he is like they're really taking over if you think about it. I mean, even
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, De La Hoya is actually he's kind of slipped. He's weaker now than he was because he did lose Canelo also, and yeah, there
Yeah.
was that scandal around him also, but
Yeah.
various scandals.
Yeah. He has those popping up. So yeah, that certainly doesn't help. Yeah, Canelo. So though he has Ryan Garcia still. He didn't want to lose Ryan
Oh
Garcia, even though they
yeah,
were beefing at one point. But he was like hard
true.
pressed, like, no, I'm not letting go of Ryan. So
No, then he is done. If he loses King Ryan, he is done.
and he has Virgil Ortiz. So he has
Oh yeah,
those
him
are
too.
two that
Yeah,
could really be some major movers in the sport. Ortiz, of course, yeah, he messed himself up this last fight, so we have to see how he looks when he comes back out,
yeah.
or especially if it's not going to be at 147 pounds, which I don't know
Yeah. I
if
really,
he's
I
trying
really
or not.
like both fighters. I mean, Ryan and Virgil are really great offensive, or great punchers and all that. Yeah, I really love watching them both, and especially Ortiz, who just
Yeah,
goes out there and bangs it out, and
yeah, he's exciting to watch, and that
yeah,
was going to make for some pretty exciting matchups at 147. So it'll be interesting. Hopefully, he can stay at 147, which may not be the case, but if he
mm,
can, that makes for some interesting potential matchups with the crop of guys coming up around 147. You factor in
mm,
Benj, Stanionis, him, Boots
yeah.
Ennis,
Then he was,
uh,
yeah, that was,
Yelesianov, the
yeah,
Kazakhstan fighter. They mentioned him on the broadcast last night, but he's solid. Man, it's
yeah,
just a
that
bunch
was
of solid
Sino,
guys.
yeah. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, and I think I was just wondering who is our boy Mongia with. Actually, I don't know.
Oh
That's
yeah, I think he's well, he was with Gold. I think he's Golden Boy. I think he's Golden Boy. So yeah,
uh,
that's another one Oscar has.
yeah,
So that's a
another
benefit
golden.
because Munguia he does numbers in Mexico.
Yeah, he's really big, yeah.
So
And
yeah, I
I
think he's
really
doing good.
understand why. I understand
Matter of
the
fact,
Chit.
yeah, how many is the truth?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
I
trying to
love
see
his
which one.
fighting style also, and
Yeah, and he's working with El Terrible. So yeah, he's legit.
yeah,
I think he's a top caliber fighter.
wow, that's great. Yeah, and he's also big for rather big, especially at 154. He was big for, I
Yeah,
believe.
he stands 6 feet tall.
Yeah,
I'm looking at his thing now. Yeah, he did fight Demetrius Ballard. I
you
watched
see.
that. He dominated. Um, so yeah, it'll be good to see what's in store for him. Yeah, he didn't take any punishment in that Ballard fight, so I think he's
Yeah, it
probably
was a
fresh
short
right now.
fight. Yeah, that was a short fight. Pretty
Yeah,
hard to take punishment. Yeah,
yeah, and so yeah, I think he's fresh right now. If you ask me, of course,
yeah.
my thought
I
at least.
just
But
hope sometimes these guys don't get really managed right, so they have to wait too long for certain fights, and instead of taking a smaller one while they wait, for a big one. So yeah,
yeah, I really
that's
say they've built him up well. He's had the right level of competition. It seems like each time out, and it's put him in the right position. That yeah, I think he's like, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him take on Golovkin, but I know that's probably not going to happen. Um,
yeah, probably not. Yeah,
but maybe Chris Eubank Jr. I'm looking at who's out there. Chris Eubank Jr. I wonder if that
yeah,
one would go down.
Chris, yeah, Junior, why not?
Then Jamal Charlo's out there. That would be a good one. I think that would be an excellent matchup right there. But
Yeah,
it's a matter of whether it will happen.
Jamal, but I don't know if Jamal wants that one right now.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably not. That's gonna be a
Yeah,
tough one.
it's
That's gonna
been
be a
a
tough one
really.
because Charlo he's about to fight Sileski,
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, that's right.
Masi
So,
or whatever his name is,
well,
Masi.
I think it's pronounced Mache or something.
Okay, Machi. Yeah, and he's only lost to Andrade and Daniel Jacobs, so it'll be he's a pretty solid fighter. I will say.
Hmm.
I would say B fighter,
Macho,
B
Mache.
plus fighter, arguably.
Yeah, that's right.
He's not one of those that star fighters, but he's a solid fighter. So it's a
Hmm.
solid matchup for Charlo, I guess you can say. But
Yeah,
Munguia, that would be like big time right there.
yeah. His nickname should be TCV, taking care of business, Mangia.
Yeah, he does. Hey, I think he's 100% better now than where he was when he was fighting at 154.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, yeah, it looks like it. I mean, he stopped Gary O'Sullivan, and yeah,
Yeah, and if you're one of those top guys, you're gonna have to make that decision. Am I willing to risk it against this? He's 25 years old. He's only 25. Am I
yeah,
able to risk it? This guy, he's already got about 40 fights because I think he's at 39. Let me see. So, yeah, that's a
German,
major risk. Yeah, he's 39 and
yeah,
0. And he's
yeah,
25. So
pretty amazing record. Yeah,
he's been putting in that work. It's similar trajectory to Canelo in that sense. Started young and just continually increased the competition. So that's a
mm,
risk, of course, if you're a Charlo or someone like that, and you're looking to get Canelo, for
yeah.
instance, or Golovkin. Why would you take Munguia?
No, I mean, yeah, exactly. He knows that would not be an easy fight. Definitely, he'd take at least he would take some punishment for sure. I mean, quite a
Without a
lot.
doubt.
Yeah. Even if he managed to win some kind of decision in the end, he would still have to take a lot of leather in that fight. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, you're right, and that'd be good because Jamal Charlo, he's 6'1", so yeah, that would make it. Yeah, that would be an excellent little style clash.
yeah,
Um, I don't see it happening though. I don't see it
No,
happening.
sadly, I mean,
Yeah.
either. Charlo has been really a disappointment at 160.
Yeah, I
Jamal.
know. Yeah, it's crazy because he had a lot of momentum when he made the jump, but yeah, hasn't. That's kind of died
Yeah,
down a bit, in my opinion. And I think Jermell Charlo has been, he's been taking on the top guys at 154 back to back.
yeah,
In
yeah.
pretty
That's
much every
true.
fight is it gets one of the top five or
Well,
six guys.
yeah.
So it's
Thank
like a
goodness.
contrast.
Thank goodness for that. Yeah, and he's really been improving. I mean, steadily before now. I mean, this last fight with
Yeah,
Castaño, that was a really hard fight
yeah, yeah.
against
There
a
was, there was
really
a tough one.
top guy. Top
Yeah,
fighter.
yeah, and and he cracked Castano a few times and had him hurt for sure. So yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah,
interesting matchup. Yeah, it's hard to say because I thought Castano won this last one. I think it's pretty even going into this fight.
yeah.
Here is pretty much 50-50 if you ask me.
Yeah, and Castaño said that this time he will not be leaving it up to the judges. So
Okay.
that's interesting. We might even see a stoppage happen, but I don't know. Of course, it can happen to anyone there.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess, even though I guess Jermel does perhaps hit harder, maybe than yeah, I think so. Than Castaño, it's
Yeah,
not.
I would say so. Castano, yeah, he's tough. He's solidly built, and
Yeah, but he's more
but
like an accumulation puncher. I think.
yeah, yeah, he's seemingly the type that would keep coming forward and yeah, just keep digging in
Yeah.
type. Yeah, I don't recall him hurting Charlo with anything huge, but
Yeah, and he's actually been down once. That was against that guy Manuel de Jesus. Then he knocked him out in the sixth round, but he was down once, and I don't think Charlo has he been down yet ever. I don't think so.
yeah, I don't recall him having ever gone down.
No,
Now that yeah, thinking about it, yeah, I don't recall him yeah, having
not
gone
in
down.
that Harrison fight that he lost either. Of course. Yeah,
Yeah, and I think part of that was some of his sort of inactivity in some of the rounds because I went
yeah,
through it. I watched it, scored it. I could see Harrison winning. I'm trying to remember. I might have had Harrison winning if you really look at it on a round by round basis. Harrison didn't do anything spectacular, but
yeah,
neither did Jermell Charlo. So I
yeah.
think
So
that
that
was part of
was
the reason right there.
Yeah, that was about not being in top shape. Maybe. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and he came back to bite him, and then he stopped him. I thought the stoppage was justified in that second fight.
yeah. Tony Harrison, he was very angry, but
But yeah, but Tony, he's been like that. He have a great fight, good to great fight, and then he'll
yeah,
look a little bad in his next one, or not up to standard at least.
yeah. Or he tends to do well in some fights, then he gets stopped late. He
Yeah, he was
first,
doing pretty good against Jarrett Hurt, and then he got stopped
yeah,
in that
and
fight.
Willie Nelson.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, Willie Nelson. Yeah, I remember him.
yeah,
He's a big 154
yeah.
pounder.
Wow, he's really big, huge.
Yeah, he was Willie Nelson. Rodolfo, you gonna make a project with Random McKissick, right? Oh yes, yes, yes. Random Acoustic Thoughts. Shout out Random Acoustic Thoughts. He's another YouTuber who makes these videos.
Oh yeah,
The likes of Langford and all those guys who were fighting around that heavyweight division at that particular time. He
true.
does some Bellator stuff as well. But yes, yes, we intend to make some stuff. Rodolfo is really gonna have a focus on probably Sam Langford and then the guys like Joe Jeanette, Sam McVeigh,
Yeah.
who was the other one right in the mix there? Of course, Jack Johnson was in the mix there.
Harry Wills, was it? Harry
Oh
Wills.
yeah, Harry
Wills.
Wills. Yeah, yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. That's him. Yeah, Harry Wills. All those guys who were fighting each other multiple times and all that stuff. So yeah, and I had been thinking about making a video on them for a while, but I was like, you know what? These are some big careers, and I was thinking, I know there are a lot of people who are covering them. I know different things about them just from what I've read and studied
Yeah.
on, but I was like, I know there's some other ones who are going even deeper with that. So I think it would be a good opportunity to collaborate on some of those things. So So yeah, that's gonna be coming. We have to set some things in motion. We've had some initial discussions and at least some stuff down on paper, so to speak. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a matter of getting them ready to go now.
Cool.
So it should be interesting, for sure. But yeah,
Yeah. So next.
all right. So
Yeah.
what do you
Next.
think? We're done. We're calling it a
Yeah.
day.
Pretty much, I think.
All right, yeah. So this was post Canelo Bivol. Yeah, major shift in the world of boxing, major news and all that stuff. I was thinking maybe I should make a Bivol video. How good is Dmitry Bivol? He looks pretty
Just
good.
want to see, he's a really nice guy. I think he
Yeah.
comes off as a really nice, humble guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, he is, and and even in person and all that stuff,
yeah,
he's that same way. I think he's just a genuinely nice guy for the most part.
mm,
So I think that's good
yeah.
stuff. So, but yeah, cool. But yeah, thanks, Rodolfo, Sandris,
Peace out.
Temper Five, my mom
Mhm.
who dropped in here. Shout out, Happy Mother's Day again. Sam Langford video. Yep, Sam Langford. It's gonna be on the way at some point. I'm gonna have to make sure that's right. So that's
Yeah,
gonna be coming without a doubt. But yeah, thanks, Boz, for tuning in or joining in again, keeping this thing going. Hey,
yeah.
maybe we'll see what's in store for next week, and
Mm.
maybe we'll maybe
Anytime,
there's some
man.
stuff to talk about there.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, sure, anytime.
let's check in next week, same
Yeah,
time.
yeah. Why not?
Same day and time. Let's get this thing going. Thank you, Doug W. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug.
But yeah, everyone have a good one. Enjoy your Mother's Day. And we'll see you next week.
Sunday, fun day.
Sunday fun day. Peace out.
Peace out.